Hello and welcome to the Sands of Time review channel. It's your host Sammy Thunder. Today I'd like to go through another one of my recent acquisitions, being the SBGR061 from Grand Seiko. First thing you can probably tell by this is that this is a double branded Grand Seiko, so it's the pre-2017 model. However, I got a new old stock version of this, so pretty much it's brand new. The SBGR061 essentially is superseded by the SBGR261. This watch is part of the Elegance line. I'll get through some of the basic specifications before I go into kind of my dislikes and likes and an owner's perspective of this watch. So the watch itself features a 39.5mm case diameter. So it's quintessential dress watch diameter there. And it features a lug-to-lug of around 46.9. So it's actually very wearable, especially with the turned down lugs. So it's really good on smaller wrists, and it has a thickness of 13.1 mils, and it does sound thick for a dress watch, but like the SBGM221 that I've owned and reviewed, so if you want to check that review out, please do. It's on my channel. These features pretty much the same case, so it's an Elegance line case, and pretty much it's one-to-one case shape. It's just slightly thinner. So let's say you're on the fence between the SBGR261 or the 061 or the SBGM221. Just make sure you go for the aesthetics mainly over the thickness, because really you're not going to notice much. At 13.1 mils thickness, it does sound pretty thick, but the way this Elegance case is, it masks the thickness. You first have this rounded case that is fully Zaratsu polished, and with the slight step up with these faceted sides, combined with this very highly aggressive domed sapphire crystal, you do kind of, mask that thickness, because as you can see from here, you can probably guess that the thickness of this domed crystal, it kind of adds a lot to the watch. But because it's a crystal, it's eluding you. So really, it's probably like a 12mm thick dress watch. But this box sapphire crystal really is beautiful and unique, and has very high levels of anti-reflective coating. So with the specs out of the way, it does feature a mechanical movement. So it's a 3-day power reserve mechanical movement, being the 9S65. So 72-hour power reserve, 3 days power reserve, 28,800 beats per hour. So back in the day, this would have been considered high beat, but nowadays high beat is considered 36,000 beats per hour, and you do get that from Grand Seiko high beat movement, and also from Zenith and maybe some of the other watchmakers out there. So it is kind of like a waterology, but this one just features the regular 28,800 beats per hour. So why did I get this watch? I actually made some trades in the past, and I really wanted to experience spring drive. So I actually traded the SBGM221 for a Grand Seiko SBGA375 spring drive, which features the 44GS case, a much more sportier look. However, I actually didn't connect with the watch for some odd reason, and I ended up regretting the decision, and I eventually managed to get this watch in a trade. So the other reason really is because when you own something like the 44GS case, I really want to own it when it's brand new and I can put the scratches on the watch. And the 44GS case, when you look down on the watch, you notice that a lot of the watch itself contains the 44GS lugs, and in low light conditions you don't really see any hairlines or even the scratching, but in bright sunlight it was just filled with scratches, and it was actually just exemplifying those scratches that it put me off the watch quite a bit, because I traded pretty much a brand new mint condition watch and I didn't realize what I was getting. with that out of the way, I kind of realized that I connected very much with the SBGM221, and this featuring the exact same case, the exact same ivory dial, and a thermally blued seconds hand that just glides through the dial. It was a no-brainer for me. I absolutely love the watch. It's great, simple. You know, in some aspects could be better than the SBGM221, especially, you know, with the simplicity, the longer indices, the thermally blued seconds hand, just gliding. I really do like the watch here. Obviously, you know, this being an elegance case, don't underestimate it. I've mentioned this in my other review for the SBGM221. The elegance case is very complex on its own rights, and you can see that there are cut edges here, Zaratsu polished on the lugs. If you look at the side of the case itself, you can see the entire thing is actually distortion free. What I've realized is, you know, with the slab-sided or angular cases from Grand Seiko, it's distortion free usually in the center portion, but towards the sides it's just it doesn't feature that distortion free aspect that you do get with the elegance line here. So the whole thing is just a mirror. It's crazy, and you can see that there's, you know, another facet. The amount of facets there are around 4 facets, all Zaratsu polished, very highly done, and then you have that very high dome sapphire crystal boxed. It's domed and boxed, as you can see. It just plays amazingly with the light. So the case of the elegance line is not to be underestimated. It's beautiful, it's nice, and you know, I really love the handset. So this handset's razor sharp, diamond-like finishing, alongside the indices. What more could I ask for? And with the double branding, you notice the Seiko and the GS are applied, and then I really love the Grand Seiko text with the automatic. Compared to the SBGR261, which is the post-2017 model, or the superseded model for this, the automatic text it's literally written in Arial font. So there's much more thought gone here. If you know, these are very tiny nitpicks, but you know, these are kind of what make these models desirable. It's these design choices. You can look at that thermally blued seconds hand. They're fairly thick and they're fairly exemplified, because in a lot of watches I've handled, usually these thermally blued seconds hands, they appear black, but with Grand Seiko, you know, I always see the blue luster. It's very shiny. It's jewel-like, almost jewel-like. So it's something I've appreciated from the brand, the way they heat treat their handsets. Obviously the watch features the signed crown with the GS logo, and features the 9S65 movement as mentioned. So it's a workhorse caliber, and you know, it's beautiful to look at, and I actually like looking at the mechanical caliber more than the Grand Seiko sister to this movement, because there's much more to look at. Whereas with the Grand Seiko, it's really just the glide wheel, and it's just the 2 wheels there that are gliding in unison. However, with the automatic, it's just, there's much more visual interest. The strap itself is very nice. It's different to the SBGM221, as that was more reddish. However, this is a bit more brown. And the buckle, the actual buckle clasp system, is very secure and of high quality, and very, you know, feels safe to use. And that's what I kind of want from this kind of watch. So the whole package here is excellent, and these can be had for very cheap prices as well. So if you are in the market for a dress watch, and you love an ivory dial, this could be the one to look for. It wouldn't be a Grand Seiko if I really didn't look at it under the macro, and I've already seen it under the macro many times before, so I'm going to try and do it again. And this is it under the macro. And you know, I've seen it under the macro, and there's absolutely no flaw in the dial. That's one thing I can guarantee you, no flaw. Applied logo. There's no dust, no particles, no scratches on the indices. You know, it's just reflecting. And if you do see something, it really is just reflecting the dust that's on the glass itself. That's how highly finished this watch is. I know with certain Grand Seikos, there have been cases where there's been poor quality control, and I did notice this with the SBGR375, and I did see slight dust particles and rough finishing on the edges of the indices, but this Grand Seiko and my SBGM221 didn't have that at all. I just love this ivory dial, and the best thing about this kind of ivory dial is that it plays well with the light. Even though this is just one simple color, during different sun conditions, let's say it's during sunset, there's a bit of an orangey hue that you get with the SBGM ivory dial. In the morning, there's different light. When there's no lighting condition, it's eggshell white. So it, even though this isn't one of their textured dials, this is something to be proud to own. It's beautiful. That's all I have to say there. It's done beautiful. It's executed beautifully. There's no flaw, as expected from a Grand Seiko. So I'll get out of the macro mode, and my lens is currently, I'm using a macro lens, and it doesn't really feature autofocus capabilities, so I'm doing it manually, so apologies in advance. The watch itself, it features 30 meters of water resistance. It's part of the Elegance line, so no swimming, unfortunately, but taking such a classy watch to the pool. Do you really want to do that? Not really. It's pretty much, this suffices as an everyday dress watch. If you're someone that commutes to work every day, this is an excellent example of an everyday dress watch. It's not too flashy. It doesn't catch people's direct attention. So people in the office, they're not really gonna know what it is, but people will, when they do see it up close, they'll understand the beauty of the watch, the simplicity. And this is what Grand Seiko really is, and I believe it's succeeded in what it's trying to do. So, with that out of the way, simply because I've reviewed such a similar watch, there's not much I can say about this, but I've developed a connection to this Elegance line, especially the ivory dial watches. One thing to notice is that with the date wheel, I did notice some of the numerals were not centered. Like if that's something that bothers you, if you have an OCD, just be wary, or maybe go into a boutique and just check for yourself, especially the single digit numerals. If that really bothers you, it doesn't bother me, but for the sake of review purposes, I would like to state that the watch itself is a strap monster. You can pretty much put it on any strap. You're not limited to what you have, and you can easily use this hardware. So this is what Grand Seikos are known for. Amazing strap monster watches. So apart from that, this watch, it might not stay in the collection for a long time, and the reason being is because this is kind of like my first luxury watch, and I've made a few mistakes in the past. I got the SBGM221, which is a watch I really appreciate. I regretted trading it. I got this, but there's something in me. I kind of want something new. I want to spend, as this is my first luxury watch, when you put in the money, you kind of got to decipher what type of person you are, what type of what should you really need. Do you want to spend a high amount of money on a dress watch when you don't go to many events? Even though this can be used, as I stated, for everyday commute, there will be times where you can't go to the pool, and it's your favorite watch, you spent the most money on it, and you want to be able to do that. And that's where I thought I put all my money on the bag for a dress watch, and that's the main reason I sold the 221, and I went for the SBGR375. And I didn't really connect with the 375, mainly because I realized the 44GS just scratches crazily, and You know, I'm happy with that, so long as they originated from me. So I kind of felt a bit duped when I went for a trade, and then managed to get this one here. So I'm getting a very special piece soon to kind of commemorate, let's say, a birthday as well for myself, and also something that I'm going to keep forever. So that's what that watch is going to be, and I'll reveal that soon on the channel. I'll be getting that very soon, and there will be another watch to come as well. So it's 2 watches, and I'm going to let that be a mystery, and I'll kind of explain my logic when I kind of do an initial impressions video. But here we are with the the SBGR061. You know, it is a collector's watch right now since it's discontinued. But really, don't buy this because it's discontinued or rare. If you find one, buy it if you really like it. Buy it if you really like the aesthetics over the 261. If you can find them, these aren't, you know, these aren't astronomically increasing value right now. So maybe in 5-10 years, yes, they will be very rare, collectible. But right now, you know, if you're someone that likes the flip watches, or you know, you're thinking about that, you want to buy something because it retains a value, don't do it. Just buy what you like. This watch here does everything. So ivory dial, Grand Seiko finishing, thermally blued seconds hand, amazing movement. You literally get a chronometer certificate from Grand Seiko. Performance is excellent, running within 2 seconds a day. There's nothing more I can really say. I really prefer Elegance line case over some of the more high-end or more extravagant heritage cases. But if there's one thing I'd like Grand Seiko to do with this Elegance line, is to make thinner watches at low cost. So for example, I think one of the best dress watches you can get right now is the SBGR261. And the SBGR261 is essentially a manual wind 37mm dress watch. For me, it's too small, but for others, it's a perfect dress watch. So just before I depart, I'm actually going to do a bit of a wrist check and also a wrist shot. And this here is my Tissot Lockley. This is pretty much a workhorse dress watch. I use it. It can be used pretty much for everyday use, and I like it. I like it because it's not expensive. I don't have to worry about it. Whereas with the Grand Seiko, there'd be a little bit of worry with the watch, especially being a dress watch. So here it is, the SBGR261 on the wrist. It's phenomenal. It looks great, fits well. Not much I can say. It's a classy Grand Seiko that has a very appealing dial. You know, there aren't going to be many people that are going to critique this watch, or even the SBGM221, maybe except for the thickness. But the dial, honestly, I don't know who would. It's beautiful. So with that, it's the sands of time. Peace. Thanks for watching.